Chicago Union Station is packed. There's a Lincoln service that's at the Cardinal gate that's delayed. I'm in coach because you can't bid up for itineraries involving multiple trains for some reason. It's apparently a trip report.
He doesn't have duration or expertise, and he's not like Paul or Jeb who can do this with ease. And now it's apparently too late to abort, so it's apparently a trip report.
Ooh, we've got a private car. I've been assigned seat 25. All right, we've boarded. It's a beautiful Amfleet 2 with lots of legroom. I complained about being coach, but honestly, I love coach on an Amfleet 2. Someone was flabbergasted at the fact that the train goes like a U to get from Chicago to New York. The Cardinal is kind of the longest way to get to the Northeast, but it's also the most scenic way, so I'm really excited. We're off, only about 10 minutes late. Somehow no seatmate leaving Chicago. I'm really tired and I want to go to sleep, but I can't because I haven't scanned tickets yet. Amtrak, there has to be a better way. These seats are insanely comfortable. Time to take a nap.
Right now, that's where I'm sitting at.
It's an Amtrak bathroom. It's now 10:14. It's quiet time. It's a little before midnight. I'm just kind of stuck in a field somewhere outside of Indianapolis. And somehow I'm at peace. We're in Indianapolis. There's a smoke break here and I'm going to the front because the Cardinal acts as Amtrak's hospital train where it takes coaches to the place where the coaches end up. So I'm curious what they're bringing. Big haul today, so our locomotive is there. Then there's a Comet car, a couple of baggage cars, and then a sleeper car down there, and then 2 locomotives. Still got the private cars too. Wonder how far they'll be going.
To the elevator.
Back on the train, time to sleep for real, and when I wake up, we should be in the mountains. I didn't sleep that well. I'll probably end up taking naps throughout the day, honestly. We're crossing from Kentucky into West Virginia. They just announced that the cafe car won't be serving alcohol till 1 because it's Sunday. I didn't know that was a thing. I wonder if that's a state law or an Amtrak law. Smoke break in Huntington, but I'm using it as a fresh air break. This Amtrak is the single most depressing thing ever. Brief look inside. Yeah, well, it has bathrooms and seats, so it's got amenities. It's just,
Menu shot, right now you're looking at the menu shot.
In the cafe car to have a bagel for breakfast. Yes, that is in fact a $3 bagel. Better than nothing. Who puts cream cheese in packets like this? Such a weird decision. Here's Charleston. Not a fresh air break. The Cardinal actually has very few. It's basically Huntington and then straight on to Charlottesville. West Virginia State Capitol. Yeah. Just left Montgomery, the least used Amtrak station in West Virginia. And now's when it gets really scenic, I say, as the trees block the really nice view. This is the end of the New River. Now we're going to go along that for a while. It's actually one of the oldest rivers in the world, like 300 million years old or something like that.
This Homestead Lake impound is a 243-acre impoundment.
I'm so tired that it would probably make sense to sleep, but this is so beautiful, I just can't. When Nathan and I took the Cardinal Thurmond, we were actually on the other side. So I guess maybe it just depends on the day, what track you run on. Good old Thurmond. Feels kind of sad to just pass through without getting off. This place is awesome. You should come here if you haven't. We stopped here for long enough that I feel like someone must have gotten on or off, but I didn't see anyone. So now that we're leaving Thurmond, I'm officially in uncharted territory. But sadly, the river's on the other side. We're arriving at Prince, West Virginia, which is a town that's similarly tying to Thurmond, but this one gets pretty decent ridership, as we can see here. Oh, wow. Very decent ridership. Here's Hinton, which has a massive building. Oh, and some history. This is the John Henry Historical Park. We're at Alderson Station, but the station's on that side. That was a very short stop. I don't think that anyone got on or off. White Sulphur Springs is their last station in West Virginia. It's a resort town, and the building seems to be Christmas themed. We're now in the Allegheny Tunnel. This will take us out of West Virginia and into regular Virginia. The cafe car is a bit short on supply, so we have to get the dreaded DiGiorno's. Some sort of CSX yard here at Clifton Forge. I'm not going to show the station because it's the least used, so I want to wait on that. Here's some old school cars just rusting away, I guess. We're now on the Buckingham Branch Railroad, which is the only time that Amtrak operates over a Class 3 railroad. And I've heard from other people who've been on this line that it's very slow. I mean, yeah. I also heard the track was pretty rough on this branch. Yeah. This track is awful. It's so bumpy. We're now leaving Stenton, which is our last unique station, but not our last unique platform. Think of that what you will for now. Someone got out in the wrong direction, so we're doing a cross-train transfer to get them in the right way. They're hopping off to the other Cardinal now. Got a fresh air break in Charlottesville, which is a really interesting station because the Cardinal uses a different platform from everything else that comes here. So we actually take a slightly unique route from Charlottesville to Culpeper to kind of make our way over to the main line. There's also this James River bus that goes to Richmond, I believe. Here's a quick glimpse of the station. It's pretty nice in here.
Dude, that's what you do in your boss.
Here are the other Amtrak lines joining us. We're now officially not unique. Here's Culpeper. All right, that's it for Culpeper.
That's so rough.
We are in Manassas, which means that we're in DC commuter rail territory, which means that we're getting close to the Northeast Corridor, which means that we're getting close to the end of this trip. Entering DC. We're in DC. They made it very clear, don't go in the station. We're gonna leave as soon as we get an electric locomotive. The long distance trains in the Northeast Corridor are usually drop off only once they hit DC. So theoretically from here, we shouldn't be stopping too long at each station. All right, time to go. Also, it was like cold outside, so I want to get back in here quick. Now it's gonna be like practically high speed down the Northeast Corridor. I woke up this morning in Appalachia, and now this same train is blasting down the Northeast Corridor at like, I don't know, 90 miles an hour or something. Baltimore. Wilmington. So, that was the Cardinal, but is it worth it? Let's ask our special correspondent while I go take a shower.
Hi, I'm sick and the power's out in my building, but here's the review. So I've decided that every time I ride a complete Amtrak route, I'm gonna put it onto 2 tier lists, one for scenery and one for the overall quality of the route. So for the Cardinal, the scenery is probably the best you're gonna get on the East Coast. The mountains are absolutely beautiful. The New River Gorge is spectacular. I don't think I can put it in S tier because it doesn't quite rival what you see on the West Coast, but in terms of East Coast Amtrak, it's probably the best you're gonna get. So I think it gets very high A tier. Unfortunately, the overall quality of the route isn't great, and a lot of it is because of the Buckingham branch. As I mentioned in the video, the tracks are really crummy and that makes the line go really slow, but they also are the ones restricting the train to 3 times a week, which is a terrible schedule. Not to mention that they force Amtrak to use really small train consists, which means that combined with the low frequency, the Cardinal sells out really regularly, especially in the summer. In fact, until the advent of flexible dining with COVID, sleeper passengers had to eat the cafe car food. Imagine paying for a roomette and having to eat DiGiorno's. The Cardinal is nowhere near near the fastest train between the East Coast and Chicago, but if you happen to be leaving on one of the days that it's leaving and you have 5 to 10 extra hours to spare, it's worth it for the scenery. Is it a useful service though? Not really, and I have to give it a D tier. I'm sorry, Cardinal. You're a great trip, but you're really hard to use. Man, I'm glad the power's out so you don't see my ghastly sick face.